Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about some top 5 budget beasts for Madden 24 Wide Receiver Edition. Now keep in mind that last night not as many people played the game because servers sucked and people had to go to sleep for school or work, so there wasn't as many people on as there will be tomorrow or today when you're watching this video. So keep in mind some of these cards that currently don't have prices for them will start to get prices once more people get on today. So this is going to get interesting because a lot of these cards I'm mentioning today are going to get bought up. But again, there's going to be a lot of people pulling packs today, so a lot of these cards will be posted left and right, and they'll keep their price tag very low because outside of the category that I'm talking about today, they're probably not going to get bought that much. So the category I'm talking about is a budget receiver. What does a budget receiver have to give you? Well, number one, I feel like, is speed. Now, it really depends on how you how you're judging a budget receiver, right? Because a receiver can go into three different categories. One is a possession receiver, one is a speed demon, as we like to call them, or number three is going to be a big body, go up and box the guy. So secure hands, speed, or really good, just 6'7", 275-pound receiver, right? A monster receiver. Now, early in my, you're not going to get the first two categories that well. You're going to get somewhat of maybe the possession guy you can get, but usually, like always, whenever you sacrifice one thing to get something else, you're going to be sacrificing it. So, if you want possession, you're going to be sacrificing speed. If you want big body, you're probably going to be sacrificing speed too. Now, you might be able to get possession and big body, but again, like I said, you're sacrificing something to do that. So the first player we have here is a 72 overall. Now, for my budget series, I like to keep them kind of in the gold card category. Yes, maybe later in the year we'll go with some elite cards, but for day one and early, we like to keep it to low overall gold cards. These cards are more obtainable, they're easier to get, and they do not cost that much. So first guy we have here is 82 speed, Venus Jones Jr., and especially day one, early month, this card, 82 speed, absolutely perfect. He also has 85 acceleration too, which actually is really nice. So if you're trying to run him on streak routes to grind out some stats, I have videos on the channel how to, get done all your stats. This is a really great card to go ahead and utilize for that situation. Now, he doesn't really have too many crazy stats outside of that, but to the point that I just mentioned, his best route running ability is actually deep route running. So it's kind of funny, but he is the perfect full verticals outside guy to just run down the field and make a play for you. The second guy we have here is actually a headliners player, and it's a 74 overall headliners player. He does have 83 speed, which of course is a little bit better than the last guy, and he's all around just a better receiver. He also does have some pretty dang good catching at 72, which again, early on like this, is actually not that bad for a budget player to have 72 catching. He also has really decent ball carrier moves, which is not something you usually see at a budget beast when it comes to wide receivers. So overall, a pretty solid player. He also has really good short route running and medium route running. So if you're just wanting to use him for drag routes or use him for like slant routes, this is going to be a really good option for you, especially because, again, he has good catching, he has good route running in those departments, and he has good speed and acceleration. Now, it's not as good acceleration as the last guy, so again, you're probably not using this guy on a deep pass, but for a slant route and a drag route, he's perfectly okay for those two options. Number 3 is Andy Isabella. Now, Andy Isabella gives you a little bit more than the last guy gave you, and that's because he's actually a little bit more of a, speed demon, I would say, than even the first guy. He only has 81 acceleration, which does kind of suck, but he gets 82 speed, 77 agility, 75 jumping, so overall general stats are actually pretty dang good on this card, and he also does give you 78 change of direction. So this card can also be used for kick returning and punt returning. So if you're trying to find a designated budget kick or punt returner and you don't want to use or you don't have anyone to use at this moment in time because you're waiting for your rookie premier cards, this is a really good option to put back there. I know the Arizona Cardinals use him as a kick and punt returner in real life, so it makes sense for him to be in MUT with those stats being pretty dang decent. The next guy we have here is going to be a New England Patriot, and it's actually Tyquan Thornton. Now, he is the fastest player we have looked at today, and he does have 84 speed, 79 acceleration, and 79 jumping. He does give you really good hands at 72. Doesn't really give you too many great route running abilities, except for his deep, which is actually 75. So again, if you're trying to run streak routes, this could be a really good option, especially early on, that you can just throw up to and make a play, and he's going to outrun a lot of people. You can also use him for underneath routes if you really wanted to, like drag routes and slant routes. The only problem is his short and medium aren't the greatest route running ability, but he should be pretty serviceable and okay. He does come in with 74 change of direction, which is also really nice. Our next guy we have here is 83 speed, and this is Calvin Alston III. He does give you 84 acceleration, 81 agility, and 80 jumping. He also gives you 82 change of direction, and all around, as long as you're trying to use him on a drag route or a slant route, he's going to be a pretty dang good option for you, and 69 catching is actually not the worst thing in the world. He also gives you 74 ball carrier vision and 70 juke move. So you can actually use this guy, again, on maybe kick returns or on, just simply, if he's in open field, he can make a cut in a move, and he can definitely get you some extra yards. The last guy I want to look at today, guys, it's going to be Danny Gray. He comes in at 83 speed, 82 acceleration, with 78 agility. He also does go ahead and give you 71 ball carrier vision and 74 change of direction. Overall, this guy is just your simple, again, like we talked about many times on this list, underneath route guy, just simple dink and dunk type of player, and he should be pretty solid. Now again, his route running is not the greatest, but he's going to give you that with his speed to get open, and yes, he might drop a couple passes, but again, I'll say he wouldn't drop a couple passes. He does have 66 catching. He's going to catch pretty much everything if he's wide open. And again, that's what the speed is for, to get these guys wide open. So those are some budget players day one, early on in MUT. We're going to be updating this series throughout the next couple weeks and months, and all the way to the end of MUT. I want to do this budget series for the whole entire year, so we can really, keep giving you guys the most updated budget players. I'll see you guys next one.